Hello and welcome to what is a humbucker pickup. In this video, we're very quickly going to put together, in theory, a humbucker pickup. We are not going to talk about the physics, we're just talking about the bits and bobs that make up a humbucker pickup. So, at the top of this is a completed humbucker here, and we're going to refer to it as a sandwich. So at the top of the sandwich is these two bobbins. Here's what a bobbin looks like. It's made of plastic, and it has holes for the screws and the slugs to go into. We're going to talk about screws and slugs in a second. Now this bobbin, one is for the screws and one is for the slugs, like I mentioned, and that's because the holes on the bottom are different sizes. So the screws can go through the little holes, and the slugs can go through the big holes. What are the screws and the slugs? Well, here we have some flathead screws. They just pop in the top here. There you go. So we would screw these in, and they would come out the bottom because they got a line flush with the top. This bobbin is going to become wrapped in copper wire, about 5,000 wraps for a vintage style pickup. We'll do a separate video on wrapping a bobbin, but this gets full up with copper wire. On the other side, we have the slug side bobbin. The slug is just a cylinder of metal, usually steel. That goes in here. There you go. These slugs are too narrow for the slot, so they fall right out, but theoretically, that's what it would look like. There you go. So again, this is what a completed bobbin looks like from the top. On the bottom of the bobbin are these two holes, which are going to come in handy later. So far we've talked about the bobbins, the screws, the slugs. Now let's move on to the base plate, which is the bottom of the sandwich. Now this is everything that the humbucker attaches to. Underneath we have holes for the screws to run into. The slugs do not stick out the bottom. And then we have 4 little holes, similar to the little holes we saw here. This is for the brass screws. These are little tiny screws that hold the bobbin in place when you attach it to the base plate. So to look at a completed humbucker, this is my second one I wound, we can see here's the screws that are poking through. These are from the flathead screws that we've screwed in. And then we have these 4 brass screws that are screwed into the little holes at the bottom of the bobbin. And that is what holds the whole pickup together. Very cool. Okay. So now we've seen the top and the bottom of the humbucker sandwich. We've covered the base plate and we've covered the bobbins. What is happening in the middle? What's going on in there? Well, let's talk about it. So we got our base plate, right? And we have these bobbins which are wrapped in copper wire, and there's a start of the copper wire, and then you wrap, 5,000 rounds, and then there's an end of the copper wire. And that becomes your coil. Now, you have to solder those cables together in such a fashion that your coils become connected, and then your hot signal and your ground signal go through this braided wire here. This is a vintage style braided wire. So this will get soldered to your base plate, and that creates a ground connection, and then your hot signal will get connected to the exposed inner wire. This is cloth wrapped in metal. So that's one piece of the inside of the humbucker sandwich. Moving right along, we're going to have a keeper bar. Now this keeper bar is what the screws screw in through, and it provides support for the screw side bobbin. So that's going to go right here. Up next in the middle of our humbucker sandwich is the magnet. So the magnet, made of Alnico, this is what magnetizes the humbucker and makes the magic happen. That goes in the middle, right between the two bobbins. And then you'll notice there's nothing supporting the bobbin on this side yet. It's just kind of floating above the magnet. We want to prop that up. And to do that, we're going to use a maple spacer bar. There's also plastic spacer bars, but the point is that you're putting something in here to hold the bobbin up. And that's it. That's everything that's inside of a humbucker. So the bobbins go on top, they get soldered to the cable or to the ground or to each other, and then they get screwed into place using the brass screws underneath. And that's it. That is a humbucker pickup. That is not all that there is to a humbucker pickup. You wrap the coils in tape to protect the copper wire. So there's vintage style paper tape, there's modern cloth tape, but either way, this gets wrapped in black, and that's why you can't see the copper wire at all. You wrap it, and that is truly the final component of a humbucker pickup.